At the conclusion of my last video, I started to receive literally hundreds of thousands of suggestions for clubs I should manage. The problem is most of these suggestions actually go to another school, so you wouldn't have heard of them. That's why I only have these two suggestions to actually prove exist. That said, it's pretty obvious which one I chose. I went with Valencia. And the reason why I went with Valencia is because they weren't in England. I didn't want to do another English club so soon after doing Leicester, which wasn't my fault, by the way. The thing about Valencia that also intrigued me is that they're probably one of the worst run clubs in the world right now. You can watch on Tifo, I'll put a link to this in the description, a brilliant video breaking down why exactly they're so terrible, which basically is because of their owner. And also in the news just recently, they're getting in trouble for being some racist little shits in and around the club. So unfortunately, I've got a lot of work to do, and I think it's a good time to do it. I'm Joe, and I'm going toe-to-toe with Valencia. Well, here we go, guys. Valencia CF, and we're going to start at this screen because I wanted to show you the bad line. Now, line go up, line good, line go down, line bad. And as you can see, line has been going down steadily for 20 years. They won the league and did great, but now the steady incremental decline into mediocrity. And that's what I'm here to correct. As you can see in the bottom left corner, lovely little cabinet of trophies there, but they kind of suck. They haven't really won anything in a while. I think the last thing they won was Copa del Rey. Good for them. Unfortunately, all of that has been tainted by their recent struggling and also their blatant racism of their fans and some of the players, which is not ideal. A little bit far from ideal, but this is a video game and we don't have to worry about that right now. What we do have to worry about is the fact that the board believes that we should be challenging for a top half finish. I don't know where the hell they got that idea from, because in real life, and I'm going to flash a table up here on the board, up on the screen before, like over this audio, they're struggling. They're not doing too hot. But obviously the game is different from real life, so they can't equate or account for the fact that things are pretty bad. And obviously the fans here are expecting a top half finish as well, and they want us to beat the shit out of Real Madrid, which, good luck. Anyway, we're looking at a quick glimpse at the roster here. Not that I want to go too deep into. You can stop the screen at any moment to look at this stuff, but basically checking out the squad wages. Not a lot of big earners at this club, probably like an eighth or a sixth of the value of Leicester, which wasn't my fault, by the way. And here we take a look at the finances. There is significantly a lot less money to play with, almost no transfer budget, and only 50% transfer revenue retention. So the ability for us to generate income to pay off debts and improve the squad, minimal. The projections are more kind, but I think that they obviously rely on us performing well in the league. And that could be a stretch. So keeping in mind our inability to raise money, and with our 50% transfer revenue fee, I decided to sell one of our best players, Thierry Randall Correa, but I didn't sell him for profit. I sold him for a loan and delayed the loan fee so that I got as little money as possible to use right away. And I used that money to sign Valentin Gendry. He's not too bad. And that all equated to this tactic, a 4-4 fucking 2, as the kids say. Not too many 4-4-2s get used in Spanish football. I think maybe some do. You can see I'm kind of deciding on how aggressive I want to be. You can see the lineup that I've chosen. Really, I'm not sure how this is going to work. This is either going to be a complete disaster or it's going to be a masterstroke. There really is no in between. And I wouldn't have it any other way. You can see I'm deciding to maybe regroup after we lose the ball, because I have no idea how good we're going to play, and so I just want to play it safe. So anyway, that's a quick look at the team. That was the look at the tactics. we'll see you in January, guys. Well, guys, in what may be a shock to everyone watching this series or even playing this series, we made it to January. Yep. I know some of you doubters probably expected me to get sacked in October again, but here we are. We made it to the January transfer window, and I'm excited to show you guys what we've been up to and how we've done. So let's get into it. You can see we're actually doing pretty well in the league table. The goal is Peter Lim and the board have set for us is to get top 10, and we're doing that. We're doing it by the skin of our chinny chin. Anyway, on goal difference, we actually are playing it well enough to be 4th, but obviously the game is not played in goal difference technically, or XG for all the nerds. But we're doing pretty well, all things considered. Jose Gaya is the league's leading assist maker. That's really about it for the bright spots in the team. I'll quickly flip over to the schedule here to show you kind of how the run-in has been. Yeah, at the top here, we basically have been running the 4-4-2 the entire season, and doing apparently very well with it on the whole. We had a good start to the competition in whatever month that is, August? Yeah, August, that sounds right. And basically, around the time I got sacked from Leicester in the last save, I was doing okay. It was a little bit nervy right here, but we haven't actually played that many games, and obviously the best game of the season was this 5-2 Mallorca absolute blowout, but I was kind of keen with the Almeria win as well. And basically, we've just had the World Cup, and Brazil won, by the way, spoilers. And now we're kind of getting into the rest of the season as I scroll down here painstakingly slow. I'll do it this way. We haven't played any of the big boys yet, Real or Barcelona. I think we did play Atletico Madrid a little bit further up there. But yeah, we have a lot of big teams to play, and that March stretch looks painful, and that's not including if we can make it deep into any of the cups. So a very tricky run-in. And we end the season with Real Madrid and Barca as well in the final 3. It's going to be a bit of a pain, but I'm intrigued to see how we do. So this is the tactic that I've been using. It's a little bit different from the one that I started with. Namely, the midfield 4 has been shifted around. Nico has held his place as the DLP, the deep lying playmaker. Here's some of his attributes here. He's really developed very well on loan from Barcelona. I would really like to keep him, but odds are probably won't be able to, and I'm going to cry a lot. And basically, at the start of the season, if you remember, I was playing Guillermo on the left. Guillermo. I had Musa on the right, and I had Mariba here in the center. And that was kind of leading to a lot of the problems we were having. But since then, I have shifted everything around. Obviously, Mariba on the right as more of an attacking player. He has the ability, and he's a fantastic player that we also probably won't be able to hang on to. But he has really blossomed in this sort of right attacking winger role, and is like disgusting. Unfortunately, in real life, I think he's got a bit of a bad attitude, and he was at Barcelona, and I think that affects why he left Barca. And obviously, he's on loan from Leipzig. I don't think he really fit in there either. So maybe he's someone that we can fight to keep. If we could, he would be like world class for us, and that would be lovely. But no promises. Guillermo, our player, doing very well in this box-to-box role. Not a standout. He hasn't really developed, but he's doing the job. And then obviously Musa is having a great season. His development is a bit mixed. You can see a combination of red and yellow arrows there. But he's playing well despite the development. And we just offered him an extended contract because we want to lock him down for a long time. Even if he only develops a little bit more, he's been good for us. Otherwise, the tactic hasn't changed much. you can see I've given this instruction to focus play down the right and then look for the overlap on the left. And this is because I want the ball to shift here. Everybody will shift to the right side. Musa will shift in, and that'll open up the space for Gaia, who's obviously leading the team and the league in assists with 8. So it's just a very solid tactic right now, and we're getting a lot out of it. And if we look here, this is sort of the offensive report. I have one for defense as well. I have this sorted by average rating at the moment to show you who my best performers are. Mukhtar Diakabi has been amazing as the left center back, getting on the end of a lot of balls from corner situations, and so he's been a bright spot for us, and I am glad we offered him a contract extension at the beginning of the year. Otherwise, obviously, you can see Musa is, like I said, one of our leading players with 1 goal, 5 assists. Cavani coming off the bench, 6 goals, 1 assist, doing very well. And Mariba, 4 and 2, incredible. Gaia, no goals but 8 assists, has been instrumental. And then obviously, Georgie from our Leicester save, developing and is world class. I love him so much, and I might try to give him a contract extension here before much longer because he's just so good. Let's see who wants him. Everybody wants him, but on loan. And that's pretty much it, guys. That's January. I'll see you at the end of the season. Alright guys, here we go. The end of season review we've all been waiting for. My first time on this series, making it to the end of the season. Let's go through and see how everything went. Well, starting with the new arrivals. Literally none of these guys were my signings. Well, one of them was. You can see Mariba, and Lino, and Nico were all in on loan, and they were some of the best players we had at this club. Unfortunately, Mariba is going back to Leipzig now, and they want to use him, and rightfully so. He's an incredible player, and they're lucky to have him. The players I signed, literally only 2 guys that I could afford. Valentin Gendry, who did absolutely bang average this year. Developed a little bit. Maybe we could sell him on for a profit. And then Gustavo Asuncao, who also developed, looks pretty good, and is one of our players, and he's signed with the idea that he'll replace Nico next season. Not a bad player. I don't think obviously that he has the ceiling of Nico, but not a bad move, all things considered. And we look at the outs, by the way. We sold a backup goalkeeper. We sold this backup striker. And we released hundreds of players that weren't getting any minutes. We sold Tony Lotto at the start of the save. You guys wouldn't have seen that, but he was our 3rd string or 2nd string left back, and I let him go to generate a little bit of that money that went towards Valentin Gendry. But otherwise, not a whole lot of moves made. We let this backup CB go. He looked okay, except I realized he was 5'11 and at 7th strength, so not an ideal player. Anyway, we take a look at the season here. We did it! We qualified for the Europa Conference League. Basically, we stumbled our way through the season, and somehow we did exactly what we were asked to do. We achieved top 10. We had an incredible goal difference, and we really actually almost made it into top 5, but we kind of stumbled. You can see here the season. We came back in January and had a pretty good run in what is it, March. You see we cranked off 5 wins in a row here. And we really had a really nice end of the season, to be honest. You see there we had, 8 wins and 9? It's really good. But then, as you can see, we petered off towards the end there. And the wheels kind of came off, and so we couldn't secure a stranglehold on the top 5 like we'd wanted. But not a bad season. You can see our top goal scorer ended up being our center back, Diakabi, so not ideal. A little bit of a head scratcher there, but that's what it is. We got knocked out early in the Copa del Rey in the semi-final to none other than Real Madrid. And in the Supercopa, we didn't do shit, so not really important. The moments to remember, obviously our biggest win came against rivals Villarreal. The match to remember was our win against Real Madrid. We had a win in January that shocked the league. And the goal of the season went to our boy Musa, and we're not going to watch that. Not really important, because I don't think it was that good, and we lost anyway. The finances are looking good-ish, I guess. We sold a lot of jerseys. All the names that you would expect to sell. And yeah, this was our best lineup. As you can see, Gendry was my signing. He was the only guy that had below a 7. Well, I guess Mamar Dashvili didn't have a great season either, but on the whole, I'd say we did pretty well. Hugo Duro bagging 14 goals. Jose Gaya getting 22 assists, just insane. Unfortunately, 3 of our best players are all loanees, so that's going to be a big question for us. And we check the awards, the accolades. Incredibly, I got 1 head coach of the month for March. Well deserved, I think. Signing of the season, Gendry. Young player of the season, Mariba. Fans player of the season, Diakabi. All very well deserved, I think. Let's see here, scroll down. Diakabi was definitely our best player, and Liverpool were actually in for him in January, but I kind of told him no thanks, we'd like to keep him. And I think that was an important part of our season. No other awards, though. Anyway, I think a really good season. Here's the timeline. I think that was a really good season, and I'm really happy that we were able to do it. Well, that's it, guys. I went toe-to-toe with Valencia CF, and I succeeded. I got a Conference League berth when the only expectation was top 10, and my own expectation was to avoid relegation, so I did much better than I think I could have imagined. The thing is, though, the future may not be bright for Valencia. They don't have a lot of money to work with, about 5 million in the transfer budget for next season, and they've got a European competition to play. Anyway, this is the part of the show where I'm going to sim, 2 seasons, and we'll see how they do. See you when we come back, guys. Alright guys, I know I said I was going to simulate 2 seasons, but I got impatient and simulated 1 season and stopped to take a look. And I think this is a good spot to settle and kind of end this series, because if you look in the center of your screen, Valencia, more points, 68 points, just missing out on the Champions League, 1 point behind, and securing... Oh wait, I can read! They did secure Champions League! Oh my lord, it seems like whatever I did for this team really helped. Let's go in and break us down and see what all happened for him this season, guys. So it would appear the manager that they hired to replace me was Julian Lopetegui. Not a bad manager. I think he's doing very well with Wolves right now. If we transition over to the squad, I'm seeing a lot of the names that were there in my 1 season. Gaia having an incredible season. Yunus, Musa, Samu Castillejo, still doing bits. Alex Collado, this may surprise you, but I was the one that actually initiated the transfer for him in the summer, or in the January window. I didn't show you guys this. I put in this offer and he agreed to join, and it looks like this was a great move. I brought him in to be sort of the replacement to Mariba, and it looks like he did bits as that sort of right-sided winger. Otherwise, I'm seeing pretty much a squad that is unchanged from when I had it. The big one, Uros Racic, was a midfielder that was actually out on loan in Porto. I believe it was Porto. Oh, no, it was Braga. Yeah, you can see the kit there. And anyway, he came back from loan, and it seems like he did a good job replacing Nico. So otherwise, it looks like the squad kind of went unchanged, and that's really awesome to see. Let's see what kind of tactic they were playing with this season. Alright, a 4-3-3. That makes sense. Not exactly what I would have done, but obviously not the manager, not my deal. And they had this guy, Buna Sarr. Interesting. 32-year-old veteran. So, very interesting squad composition that they had, but it seems like it got the job done for them, and I'm really happy to see that. And here's a look at the finances of some of the transfers. You can see these were the moves that I made when I was the manager, bringing in Gendry, signing Esunsayao, and then this is the deal for Alex Collado. There's all the moves that I made on the outs, and then these are the moves that they made actually this season. So they brought in Bunasar, very cheap, and they loaned in Brian Olivan and Jesus Vallejo as a center back. He doesn't look too bad actually, but he looks like he got injured. I wonder if they brought him back on from loan. Oh yeah. That's right, tough. He might have been a good player. And you can see over here they actually sold Diakabe, which I'm sad about because he was obviously one of our bright spots, but getting 125 grand a week is worth it. And they were very adamant on selling Gendry, so he's out the door. And they made a little bit of a profit on him. They did. And then, yeah, not much else in the moves there. I could show you the finances, but I would have to take control of the team again, and that's a lot of work. So I'm just going to skip that, and we're going to check the schedule. Because I'm still trying to work out how they made it to the Champions League. A good run through the Conference League. I was kind of going through this. Very good October. Very good undefeated November, December. Making it through competitions, got knocked out of the Copa del Rey in the 3rd round. I'm still doing fine in the season. Beat Austria Vienna. Made it to through the conference round, quarterfinal, and they got knocked out in the semifinal to my favorite club, Aston Villa, to my club. But I had a pretty strong season, another undefeated month of March there. So I can't really decipher how they were able to qualify for the Champions League. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I'm not complaining, and I'm happy that it's here. So it turns out I did a pretty good job managing this club, and it seems like they're going to be set up for the future, even if they have absolutely no money to spend. So that's Valencia. I did it. I went toe-to-toe with this club, and I succeeded. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have some ideas for the next club, please comment down below. And I look forward to seeing you guys. All the follows and comments and everything really mean a lot and encourage me to keep doing this. So thank you guys so much. Take it easy, guys. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.